Welcome into Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez.
And I'm Kevin Friel. We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available at the town's website. You can find them at www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
Well, the Town Council meets this Thursday evening inside the second floor hearing room of Barnstable Town Hall, and they'll be addressing issues ranging from adopting a new budget policy for the upcoming fiscal year and appointing new council officers. Today, Kevin sat down with Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch for an in-depth preview of Thursday night's meeting.
Tom, could you start us off talking about the Coastal Resource Management Plan report, and then let's go into the nomination of officers.
Well, the Town Council expects that Bob Jones, who's the chair of the Coastal Management Group, will bring the report to present it to him. I don't know how much in detail he will go into as much as to deliver the report, and I'm sure there'll be some sort of follow-up meetings on that. And they'll follow that presentation by Bob with nomination of officers. This is something that the reorganization of the council goes through in December, and they'll nominate a president and they'll nominate a vice president, and then determining on how many nominations there are, then at the December 17th meeting, the 16th meeting, there'll be, December 17th meeting, they'll vote on the actual officers.
Could you just briefly give us some of the role and responsibility of those two officers?
Well, I think the president helps set the agenda, so he attends all, or she attends all of the agenda meetings, represents the council out in the public at many of the meetings, and the vice president attends most of those same meetings, naturally chairs the meeting, and meets frequently with the town manager in terms of developing various policies and ordinances that they wish to put before the council.
Great, Tom. Okay, now let's get into this December 3rd Town Council agenda. There are 4 old business items, and the first we've spoken about before. It's that community preservation fund set aside for open space. You've told us a little bit about it in the past. Could you just refresh our memory a little bit?
That's the open space down in Cotuit, where they're co-funding with the Water District a conservation restriction down there around an affordable housing project. This has been on the agenda. It's an old friend now. It's been on for a long time. The council president indicated that he thought it was ready to move forward, and we could expect some action on it on Thursday.
Okay, let's talk about the Federal Aviation Authority airspace mapping. Could you tell us a little bit about that funding and what it's going to be used for?
Yes, there was a presentation made by a group to several of us a couple of weeks ago, where there would be mapping done of the flight patterns and around the airport, and what sort of height restrictions would be put in place. We have water towers, buildings, wind turbines that are looking to be placed in the Hyannis area or the Marston's Mills area where there's an airport, and you need FAA approval for certain height restrictions so that it won't impede the flight patterns or the any sort of instrument landings or any of those GPS regulations that they have in place. So what we're hoping to do is to get a map similar to what they've done in Boston and other communities, which will show where the heights are, what the restrictions are, so when a private developer or when the town goes out to seek grant money, we know we shouldn't be in a particular area. And it's a lot more complicated than one might think. You can't just, when you call the FAA for approval, it goes through 8 different sections of their agency, so nothing is secure until you've got their approval, and this mapping would clearly help us to put in or to take out certain areas for those structures that would have height limitations.
Okay, great. We look forward to hearing about that. Now let's talk about this year. We have just seen a huge number of elections here in the town of Barnstable, and that has really beefed up the amount of money that it's cost to run those elections. Could you tell us about this next one?
It's put a lot of strain on the town clerk's office. I think they've done a wonderful job of conducting the elections and getting news out on it. And I've seen naturally some of the workers as they've worked at the elections and said, we've just never. We can go a year without a real election, then we've had 3 or 4 in the same time. We've got 2 coming up, December 8th. will be the primary to fill Senator Ted Kennedy's seat. And then also there's a primary, or there's a recall election coming up later in the month, and then there'll be a final one in January, so then they'll have a breather after that.
Okay, now the last of the old business is adoption of the budget policy for fiscal year 2011. Could you tell us about those guidelines and what this item is about?
And this talks about things like whether they're interested in looking at an override or regionalization, or more specifically, are they going to put money into a roads project, or will they, what percent will they set aside for reserves? What will be the split between the school and the town in terms of percentage? There's traditionally been a 60-40 split in terms of the monies that go to the schools versus the town. Will they maintain that? So those are the guidelines that drive the town manager's office and staff as we develop our budget. So we expect there'll be some discussion on that, and many of the members have been adopted a very similar policy in the past, so we're hoping that that'll go fairly smoothly.
If you folks at home want to check that out, it's in the December 3rd agenda of the Town Council. All the guidelines are right there.
Right.
Now, Tom, let's head off into the new business. There are a couple grants that the Town Council will hear. Could you tell us there are $3,000 from the Cape Cod Commission?
That's a technical assistance program where they give money to help with affordable housing projects. And when we did the Shirley Blair Flynn artist complex, part of that was to provide for artist housing and to help that specific workforce. And this is a $3,000 technical assistance grant to do some preliminary work to see where that could be placed. Can it be in that area, and what sort of a pro forma might be put together to begin to construct housing like that.
And then the other is from the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension, and that's about the Field of Dreams and the
Yes.
West Barnstable Conservation.
Yeah, they want to do some clearing of some invasive species, and that money will help them begin that project.
Okay, Tom, now let's look at the ice and snow removal. As it's December, it's starting to get cold out, little frost on the car this morning. Could you tell us about this overdraft extension?
Yes, each year we try to appropriate funding so that we'll have monies there for the snow and ice. It's the one area where you can run a deficit account. But if you do spend more money than you've allocated, then it's the first monies that come off the budget in the following year. So this will be a request for $600,000 that gets us, started and into the ball game of providing, the safety through plowing and keeping the streets clean during our winter months.
Okay, Tom, now we're just running out of time a little bit here, so let's hear what about the amendment to the administrative code for the Renewable Energy Commission.
Yes, there'll eventually be a public hearing on this and held in early January, but right now we have a green team that's been more of an internal mechanism for looking at energy cost savings, and they've done terrific work looking at municipal buildings and helping cut down on the gasoline usage by DPW and other departments.
Well, Kevin, it sounds like the council has plenty to consider this week, and I know that many other boards and committees have a lot to consider this week as well.
Yeah, why don't we take a look at the meeting schedule for the week. On Wednesday, December 2nd, starting at 7 o'clock, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room. Also at 7 on Wednesday the 2nd, the ZBA has a meeting in the Town Hall Hearing Room. On Thursday, our last meeting of the week, for December 3rd, at 7 o'clock, the Town Council has a meeting in the Town Hall Hearing Room.
Well, that's all the time we have on Barnstable Today this time around. For Kevin Friel, I'm Nick Cortez. We'll see you next time.